Welcome to the Rotary Club of Edina as we continue our Rotary journey. I am Joe Hayes, your 2022-23 president. I would especially like to welcome our guests, visiting Rotarian senior actives, who I hope you enjoy the meeting. Our feature, Take Your Seat music, was Till It Shine, performed by Lyle Lovett and Keb Moe. It was written by Bob Seeger from 1978, Stranger in Town, one of my favorite songs, and Keb Moe and Lyle Lovett just do a beautiful job. This year, I'd like to thank you. As you saw scrolling before the meeting started, we're all the sponsors to the gala. It was wonderful corporate sponsors and also individual sponsors. If you aren't going to the gala, you are still very welcome to participate by donating to our one-time ask a year for our Rotary Foundation, which funds our international and local giving. So please give and give generously. This year, we're kind of following last week and this week's theme of going sustainable. We will not be sending out, for the gala, we will not be sending out paper invites. Everything will be done online. It'll be very efficient. If you need help doing it online, please reach out to any one of the gala chairs, Julie, Kayla, myself, Jennifer, or anybody under the age of 40. Dave Hatsung told me he signed up and it worked out really slick for him, so it was great. So, meeting team today, front desk guest intro, Wade Thoman, greeter and invocation, Susan Johnson, greeter and thank you to the speaker, Toshi Metzger, speaker introduction, Jennifer Benarat, Barker writer, we have the YouTube, not familiar with them, and our photographer is the amazing Katie Campbell. August birthdays, Ann Platt, John Allen, Sana Sato, Mike Eckhart, Bill Carter, Gay Clapp, Kip Peterson, Frank Carterell, John Barnett, and Tom Cook. Happy birthday. August anniversaries, Rotary anniversary, Frank Carterell, 65 years. Bob Perkins, 40 years. Mike Hagan, 27. Ann Platt, 20. Gary Pedersen, 20 years. Jody Kern, 16. Sutton McGraw, 10. Sonia, 9 years. Jim Platt, 6 years. And Bonnie Ralstead, 5 years. So it's a total of 218. Unfortunately, Bonnie has resigned from our club, so it's 213 years. Yeah, it's unfortunate. She ended up moving to Arizona. Member Spotlight. Andrew Gump was he was a host with the youth exchange students to the state fair with Sam and Evo. They obviously went to Machinery Hill. Hopefully they moved out of there, Catherine. They got out of there quickly. So understand that their favorite food was hamburgers, cheeseburgers. That's fantastic. Thank you to Dan and Marcia Hunt for hosting the Ukrainian Youth Exchange for an evening swim and dining. Looks like a ton of fun. What a nice night. Wow, beautiful backyard. That's so cool. Thank you, Dan and Marcia. Then last week we had the Black Business Mixer on August 25th. There's a great picture of Chadwick Phillips, who's with the Avant-Garde Event Management Company, Savon Johnson, with Pimento Relief Service Director, Annette with the Edina Chamber of Commerce Innovation Lab, and Josh and Don Hutchinson with our very own DEI committee. Our Rotary in the News last week, we had the area bash over at Pinstripes, which was a great event. Lloyd made a great presentation, and we had 15 members of our club help support it, so nice job. Jennifer and Ann did a wonderful job, and they're doing a great job for Lloyd. Please rise for Susan Johnson and the invocation.
Will you please bow your head with me? And let us pray silently together, each one of us according to our individual beliefs. Dear Lord, there are so many things that we take for granted. Let us not ignore them today. Help us, gracious God, remember that life is a gift, that our health is a blessing, that today is a new day filled with awesome potential, and that we have the capacity to bring something wholly new and unique and good into this world. Help us to remember, dear Lord, to be kind and patient with the people who love us and to those with whom we work and interact each day. Teach us to see all the beauty that we so often ignore and to listen to the silent longing of our own souls. Help us, O Lord, to remember you and to be worthy instruments of your will. Amen. And now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test of all the things we do. Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome to all of our guests, and we have several guests and visiting Rotarians today. First of all, Jack Kennefick has a guest. Jack Kennefick?
I'd like to introduce my friend Jim Triggs, the CEO of First Team Minnesota, and you'll hear more about him later.
Great, welcome. Grace Hancock has a guest. Grace Hancock?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer. I work for the City of Edina. Our speakers today are from the City of Edina, Grace Hancock, our Sustainability Manager, and Corey Lukens, who's on our Energy and Environment Commission. You'll hear from them in just a little bit.
Okay. Great, thank you. David Kleins.
Okay, again, I clarify that this young man is not running for any office, but he should. He's a really terrific guy. This is my friend Ray Barabo. He's a petroleum engineer and is vice president of NVES Energy Services. He's also he's a great neighbor, and his kids have been instrumental in mowing the lawn and shoveling the driveway at my house for years. And we're welcome. This is Ray Barabo. Thank you.
Welcome. Catherine Gump has a guest.
I'm delighted to have my good friend Kathy Tran. Kathy is the current host mom for our Rotary Youth Exchange students, Sam. Welcome.
Super, welcome. And we have two guests from out of town visiting. If they want to stand up, Michael Slowery and Judith Slowery. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause.
We did.
Great, welcome. Jim Davis from MindSpark, is he here? Let's give him a big round of applause. And Steve Slice has a guest today, a Rotarian.
Yes, Scott Nagel. I didn't know he's coming today, but I ran into him. He's an old neighbor back where I grew up, and he's from the Minnetonka Rotary Club.
And did you want to mention a few words about your event coming up?
So I'm here pitching raffle tickets. So I threw a bunch of raffle. We have a golf outing. We'll raise about $40,000 that we use towards building responsible youth in the Hopkins schools, Minnetonka schools. And so I've got raffle tickets for $10 a ticket. I've got them in envelopes, and there's a pen in each envelope. I'll just set them on the tables, and if you could just let them flow to the back of the room, and maybe be lucky in the raffle. So thank you very much.
Great. And as long as I'm up here, I'll mention next Wednesday is our Avocation Vocation Happy Hour at CW's at 5:30. And Paul Peterson is going to be the speaker. I hope everybody can join us. Thank you.
This is always a lot of fun because our club and all Rotary clubs depend on new members. And membership is the lifeblood of Rotary. And we are inducting Russ Johnson today, and his sponsor is Catherine Gump. And we have our membership chair, Erica Allenberg, up here. So, as president of the Rotary Club of Edina, and on behalf of the entire membership, we welcome you as a new member of our club. Please join in the friendship that we share and the passion that we hold for projects. that make our community and the world a better place to live. Rotary is an organization of business and professional people who desire to uphold high professional standards in their vocation. As an employer of, what is your vocation?
Retired clergy. I'm a retired clergy.
Retired, working for the Lord. Clergy. Please get involved by joining one of our many committees, which we have 47. By doing this, you will get to know more of our membership and you'll find true value of Rotary motto, service above self. Russ, at this time, I present you with the Rotary pin and membership packet. There you go. Yep.
Pose for a photo, guys. Oh, here.
Quick photo, Russ.
Quick photo.
Well, thank you very much, my fellow Rotarians. I was in high school in 1969 in Hutchinson High School, and then I went to Gustavus. Any Gustavus people here? Where? Oh, there you are. Okay, good. Well, there's somebody anyway besides me. And then I worked for this place called Dayton's. Do you remember Dayton's? Out at Ridgedale from 73 to 78. During that time, I decided to have some problems with working with my person at Dayton's, and I decided, well, why not try the seminary? So I tried it. It took me 4 years, but in early of '82, I was ordained and became a member of a church in Woodbury. And then I became a member of Rotary, and I enjoyed that very much. And then in 1986, I came up to St. Paul and did parish St. Mary's near St. Thomas College. But the one thing I remember most of all from that time in 1986 to 97 was that we had a special person who was a retired doctor, and he would spend a moment talking about these issues and concerns about all the stuff that they throw away that hasn't been used. And so we put it put together. We would once a month we would gather at a special place, and we would take it and separate and see what would have to what we'd use. In '97, we became I became a parish in Kansas. Now, that was difficult. That was very difficult. But anyway, in Leawood, one of the first suburbs of Kansas City. And then in 2013, I became a member of the Independence Club because we had gone from Kansas City to Independence. That's where Harry and Bess Truman was married, right? Right? And we had a great fun on that we would take blankets and bed sheets and stuff like that the hospital had used and we're going to throw them away, and a sister got it for us, and we would have that sent to Africa. I also became a Paul Harris person in that time, so I've been doing a lot. And then in 2018, I became again a member of Rotary, and we would help our coming Labor Day run, so that was always fun. I enjoyed my Rotary fun, and thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi,
I'm Jack Kennefick, and I'm proud to be a member of the Local Grants Committee. In fact, I think the Local Grants Committee might be the #1 committee in the universe. Having said that, I'm privileged to introduce Jim Triggs. Jim is the CEO of First Tee Minnesota. Our Rotary Club awarded First Tee Minnesota a grant several months ago. Jim is here just to give us an update on how our funds are invested. Let's give a warm Rotary welcome to Jim Triggs.
So Jack said I have 4 minutes, and the mortal sin in golf is slow play. So I'm going to get right at it. I'm going to start with a video because it really captures the most important part of First Tee, and that is the children. So I'm going to start a video. I'm going to do it from the computer, actually.
Part of the 3M Open Week is what happens before the competition, such as a program called First Tee. The idea, motivate kids from the inner city to play golf with a heavy influence from football players. It is a way to bring more people into the game of golf, specifically kids from the inner city. It's called First Tee, and it resonates with the people helping bring them there. Because people like football star Larry Fitzgerald Jr. came to this game through this program.
The First Tee program was what introduced me to the game of golf. I remember in 1997 when Tiger Woods came to town. He was doing his promotions and over at Hiawatha. And, you know, now seeing these young people and their love for the game and everything that it teaches you in terms of principles of life is what it's all about. And that's why I love doing it.
So they come to play and much more.
We're playing golf and we're having fun and swinging and just finishing lunch.
Lunch was good?
Yeah.
Now you're ready to go play 18?
Yes.
The key to liking something can be the right introduction.
It's really fun to see these kids excited about it, out here swinging, hitting the golf ball. What a great game to learn at a young age.
So they are learning, not yet quite sure of all the details and intricacies. That will come in time.
I wouldn't call myself like very good, but I'm decent.
What's your handicap?
Huh?
What's your handicap?
What do you mean by that?
The bigger goal is to do this together, to see others that grew up with you so it feels natural to progress. And that's what this day does, allow for the progression.
This is a big game of failure, and at least if you have somebody who looks like you, who emotes like you, that's failing with you, you're more likely to go and go through the struggle that we all go through playing this game.
That last person, Houston White, just joined the board of directors for First Tee Minnesota. As you get a sense from the video, we're less about creating the next PGA star and more about teaching life skills to kids. That's really what First Tee is all about. There's really 4 parts of our programs. There is what we call our green grass facilities. So we are all the Minneapolis Park and Recreation public courses. We do all of the youth instruction, a number of public courses in St. Paul, Woodbury, Rochester, and we're going to be expanding to other cities in the state of Minnesota. We have about 45 First Tee coaches that are coaching during the summer months, and we run April through September. We also have a school program, so we actually go into schools with the proper equipment that you need for in a gymnasium and a curriculum that PE teachers use. And we're in about 25 schools. Our goal is to get that up to more like 100 schools over the next 3 years. And we've got some really good conversations going on there now. And then community programs. So you think about the rec centers and community centers, which actually ties directly to where the grant went from Edina Rotary. That's a huge part of our work as well. And again, we'll either go outside or we'll go into gymnasiums, and we're working with kids that are 3 years old up to 18 years old. So it's a great part of our program as well. And then finally, we are part of the PGA Tour First Tee Foundation. We're one of 150 chapters around the world. And because of that affiliation, we get to tap into some incredible national opportunities. And they're not all about golf. They're not necessarily about who's the best golfer, who shows the most leadership, who's giving more back to the community, who's working on sustainability. I mean, these are the kind of things that the national relationship we have with our headquarters brings to Minnesota. And actually, 8 of our kids this year have taken part in these national programs. And then finally, let me talk a little bit about the grant. Let me first say thank you very much. It was a very generous grant, and we were very specific in terms of how we use the money. So Urban Ventures is one of our partners. Urban Ventures is a community center in South Minneapolis, just blocks from the George Floyd tragedy. And they really cater to a very defined neighborhood of families. They do after-school care, they do preschool care, they have homework labs that are going on all the time. They also have phenomenal facilities, both indoor and outdoor. And so what your grant made it possible to do is this huge kit of equipment that comes with clubs and balls and targets and all sorts of other training aids was donated, thanks to you, to Urban Ventures. And we also, as a way to support that, we sent our staff down to Urban Ventures. We had about 20 sessions this past summer, and these are just some of the scenes that you see at Urban Ventures. They have a beautiful facility, and I love this last slide. This is the address, this is the follow-through, and this is just a really cute little girl. So anyway, I want to finish just by saying thank you very much. We really do appreciate the support, and if you need more information, we put some of our annual reviews on the tables, so thank you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Welcome back to GNN, your Gala News Network. I'm Julie Westbrook, here with co-chair Kayla Beeler, and I'd like to thank Jen Hendrickson for filling in for me last week. We're making great progress finalizing the details for our upcoming celebration, Champagne on Ice. As President Joe Hayes would say, bring your bling and join us for a fun-filled evening. Kayla, what updates do we have this week?
Absolutely. Well, as you know, Julie, tomorrow is September 2nd, which means that all of the tickets are going to increase in price as of tomorrow. So you have until midnight tonight, probably 11:59 tonight, to purchase your tickets at the early bird pricing of $150 per ticket. As of tomorrow morning, they go up to $200 per ticket. So save yourself some money and purchase your tickets early. Also, make sure that if you have any sponsorship interest, that you reach out to Jen Hendrickson, myself, Julie, or Joe. We are still looking and accepting sponsorships up until this point. We're also looking for live auction items. So if you have any live auction items that you'd like to donate, or if you know someone that's looking to donate something, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. But that's really the important stuff that you need to know right now.
Well, we have a special guest with us today, Rotarian Gay Clapp.
Well, hello, it's nice to be with you. I'm looking forward to everything that these two hardworking young women have to say.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gay, for joining us today. As you shared with me, this last year, the Gala of 2021 was your first experience with the Rotary Club of Edina Gala. What were your thoughts from last year's event?
My thoughts were that it was the most wonderful group of people I could remember being around. My son was with us. He had just moved to town, and it was so impressive and wonderful that a group that accomplished was so wonderful and welcoming. We really enjoyed it.
This year, being your second year of attending, what are you most looking forward to?
I have to be honest and tell you pretty much the same thing. This great group of people, you cannot go wrong.
And then, of course, you know, you've seen a couple of these GNN episodes, so you know we're going to ask you, if you could have two people face each other in a dance-off, who would they be and who do you think would win?
Okay, that one's easy. I'm going to go with two guys, Sam Thompson, Joe Hayes, past and present. The Clash of the Titans.
I love it. That's great. Thank you so much, Gay, for joining us today. We're greatly looking forward to the event. And Julie, just make sure that everybody buys their tickets before 11:59 tonight, right?
Take advantage of that early bird pricing.
There you go.
Gay, we are so happy to have you as part of the club and so happy that you agreed to join us for this interview today. We appreciate all that you do for the club.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all that you are doing and continue to do.
Don't forget, early bird pricing ends tomorrow, so get your tickets. Thanks so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again next week on GNN.
Our introduction speaker is Jennifer Benarott. Jennifer is a major donor, a Paul Harris Fellow. She's a 19-year member of our club. She was sponsored by Celia Smith. Her husband, Matt, and two sons, Jack and Evan, both seniors, one in high school and one at college. She was president in 2015, 2016. Can anyone guess what her theme was? Be a gift to the world, and Jen is a gift to our club. Multiple years as Gala Chair, Foundation Board, Public Relations, Image Communication. These are just a few of the highlights. Jennifer has been an integral part of the success of our club for the past 19 years. With the chair she's run, supported, her innovative thinking. No one knows or is a better representative of this club than Jennifer Bennerat. Welcome, my good friend, Jennifer Bennerat.
Oh my God, and then I hit her face. I'm so klutzy. I'm so sorry. As communications director for the city, branding is really important to me. And you all know how much the color green is to Edina's brand. So the title of today's presentation, Edina, a deeper shade of green, is one we should all take very seriously. It is my pleasure to introduce the speakers who will deliver that message today. First, we have Grace Hancock. She joined the City of Edina staff in the fall of 2020 in the midst of COVID to lead our sustainability division. Since then, the city has passed a green fleet policy to guide city fleet and equipment electrification, a sustainable buildings policy to require large new construction projects meet very specific building practices, and of course the city's first climate action plan, which aims to reduce Edina's greenhouse gas emissions as a community 45% by the year 2030. Prior to joining the City of Edina staff, Grace worked for 10 years with environmental organizations at the state, national, and global level, primarily in nonprofit finance and strategy. We also have with us today Corey Lukens. Corey is a managing director at Deloitte Consulting in their human capital organization transformation practice. He has more than 16 years of management consulting experience with global clients, primarily in the life sciences industry. He grew up in the Minneapolis area, and after spending about 17 years away, he moved back in 2019 with his wife Laura and 3 young children. They chose Edina because of our excellent public schools and proximity to some of their family members. He is an outstanding member of the city's Energy and Environment Commissioner. He's very passionate about addressing our current climate crisis and helping to make an impact at the local level. Please join me in welcoming Grace and Corey.
Thank you for the warm introduction, Jennifer. Pretty exciting topic for the two of us that we want to talk through today. I'll start by saying this is my first Rotary meeting. I actually moved here in 2019 from Evanston, Illinois, where we lived about 3 blocks from Rotary International's headquarters. So was always kind of in the orbit of Rotary. First meeting, very excited to be here. So to kick things off, jump to the slides. We're here to talk about 2 things primarily today. The first is the climate action plan that we passed in December of 2021. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. As well as our Green Business Recognition Program, which some of you may be members of. If not, we're going to encourage you guys to participate in it and give you some details on how that works. So to start things off, Climate Action Plan, what is it? The Climate Action Plan was an initiative that many members of, I would say, the Edina community over the last couple decades have been really coalescing around to try to get some firm commitments from a city level around what we aspirationally want to do to lower greenhouse gas emissions in the city. It's a plan that includes about 200 initiatives that the city is going to take between now and 2030. It is at the core, and Grace can talk about this a little bit, but it's at the core of what Scott Neal and the city are trying to do. It permeates into pretty much every department within the city of Edina. And we're really looking to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions by 45% from the 2019 levels by 2030. Another aspirational goal that's coming out of this is we're trying to become a net zero emissions city by 2050, and that's part of the Paris Climate Accord. It's something that the city is taking very seriously. The city council has unanimously voted behind this. We have people on the city council who are former commissioners from our commission. And so it's something that's getting a lot of traction. And so we wanted to talk today a little bit about what you guys can do as business leaders and community members to help push the envelope on this. So 45% greenhouse gas emission reduction. What this is really going to first tell you is what type of gas emissions are we trying to really target. And first and foremost, it's noteworthy that commercial use of greenhouse gas emissions is 55% of it. So while there's a lot of things that people are doing at a residential level to try to combat this, businesses are at the forefront and the ones that are going to be the ones that can push this the furthest for us. We can only reach this goal with your help as business leaders. 55% coming from the business and industrial sectors. Energy is a major expense for business owners, so it's something that we know all of you have taken seriously. I think any of us who have opened our business or residential electric bills lately have seen those skyrocketing. Energy use is up. We're trying to help find ways to bring the cost down. And then also an estimated 20% of energy used in buildings is wasted. And that's noteworthy. And so you'll hear a little bit later about some of the energy audits that the city is able to provide and steps you can take to try to really stem the loss of energy. So why should you guys care as Rotarians? Surveys say that customers value this. It is something that, by and large, the average Edinian, I'm still new, so I'm learning this, is taken very seriously. And it's something that we all want to see our businesses help move the needle on. So some statistics, 77% of Americans stated they are concerned with the environmental impact of their products. People are increasingly factoring in sustainability in their purchasing decisions. I know there's great organizations, being a parent here in Edina, things like Buy Nothing Edina, that have really started to help ensure there's reuse and recycling of kids' clothing and kids' toys and all the plastic junk that we accumulate. So there's a lot of momentum around this, and it's not just kind of a flash in the pan where environmental and sustainability is going to be something we talk about for a year or two. This is going to be here to stay, and it's important that businesses really start to take it seriously. Consumers want companies to also show their commitment to sustainability. Many people have said that they want to see a designation on menus or on store shelves around this is an environmentally sustained product, eco-friendly products. 20% want businesses to display posters or flyers with their green information and what makes their business green. And then lastly, 14% want to see businesses explain their environmental programs on their websites. We have examples that we'll show of businesses that are doing this successfully in Edina. All right, and then last but not least, there was a Forbes article that came out in 2018 that said, it was a survey of CEOs, 90% of CEOs said that sustainability is going to be fundamental to their success going forward. And so it's clear that consumers prefer sustainable brands, and without proper messaging to reach your consumers and show them what your brand is doing, they'll end up buying from your competitors. And this is something I can say personally, being in management consulting, a lot of my clients that I serve are increasingly asking questions about how do they become more sustainable. And we are blessed, I would say, to have Grace Hancock as our city sustainability coordinator. She is one of the top people in the state in this area. We've spent a lot of time with other communities in the area, St. Louis Park, Bloomington, Richfield, a lot of the local cities. And we are consistently, Edina and St. Louis Park are consistently highlighted as the two cities that are moving the most on their climate action goals, and Grace is a big part of that. So we have kind of one of the best people employed here, and she's going to be a wealth of information and resources to you as you guys go through your journey here. So what are we doing about it to incentivize the right behaviors? We set up a Green Business Recognition Program. There are 3 tiers. It is a survey that we ask business owners to complete. And we have highlighted a number of different behaviors that businesses can take that will help to do your part in achieving green business climate action goals from our climate action plan. So we'll show you real quick. I'm going to jump ahead real quick. We've had a number of participating businesses. You may have seen articles. We are doing our best to blanket this information out in any publication we can. The Sun Current's highlighting this. Better Together Edina is highlighting this. We've been putting it in a number of websites and different areas that we can publicize as much as possible the great work that these businesses are already doing to help with our climate action goals. Insurance companies, there are grocers, there's a brewery, Wooden Hill Brewery, which we'll talk about. So a lot of businesses that are doing really great things. One thing I do want to highlight, you do not have to own your property. You can be a tenant, you can be leasing your property and still complete the Green Business Recognition Program. You can still be recognized. Some of these businesses don't own their properties and they've successfully been recognized. So if you have questions about that, we can get to it. And then one thing I did want to have Grace touch on real quick. So there are existing requirements that all of you as business owners are already doing that is giving you credit towards being a green business and the actual survey that you would complete to get recognized. And so Grace, you want to touch on that for a second?
Yeah, thank you, Corey, and thank you again for having us. So as Corey mentioned, this is a voluntary program to celebrate the green actions that your business, that you work in, that you own, that you frequent, are already doing. Some of those green actions, though, are required. And so these are some things that that the Edina business community is already involved in. So one of them are business recycling requirements. That is county level. That's moving beyond just your typical plastic and metal, moving toward organics and food waste. So be on the lookout for that as you frequent your business or as you consider your business operations. Next is that if you own a large building in Edina, you are probably submitting to the city your annual energy and your water use. That helps the city know how is everyone doing? Who could use an efficiency audit? Who can use more partnership with the city to improve energy efficiency, reduce energy waste, as Corey pointed out. Finally, new this year, the city rolled out what's called a Green to Go ordinance, and that means that when you order food to go from an Edina restaurant, you will receive that food in packaging that is recyclable or compostable. And so you are not increasing your waste by patronizing our Edina restaurants. Yeah, and just as one restaurant and brewery that we love to highlight is Wooden Hill Brewery, Edina's craft brewery. They were one of our founding members of the Green Business Recognition Program. They have taken this opportunity to not only increase their marketing, you can see some examples for the way that they message their commitment to sustainable practices, but they have also worked with the city to find grants to upgrade their refrigeration systems, to improve their lighting, to both benefit their sustainability goals, but also their bottom line. So how do you do it? If you own a business, if you manage a business that rents their building, we host an application and an interest form on bettertogetheredina.org. And you can, if you already have a good sense of what your business is doing, you can complete the application. But if you're a little unsure, you'd like to chat with someone, you can complete the interest form, which is really just your name, your business name, and a checkbox that, yes, I'd like to be contacted by one of Edina's green ambassadors. And then you're going to get a call from someone like Corey or another Edina resident who has volunteered their time to connect with businesses and guide them through the process of both achieving recognition and finding ways that your business can become more sustainable. So we do have a little sign-up sheet if you want to just sign up today and be contacted by somebody. But of course, later on, you're welcome to go to the website. Just a couple other items to help move the ball on this effort. The first one is that in 2022, the City of Edina is offering no-cost energy assessments for any business that is interested. This covers both commercial properties as well as multifamily residential properties. All you have to do is reach out to me. We will coordinate with our utility partners to make sure that you receive your energy assessment, you receive direct installs during that assessment, lighting, window strips, but then you also receive an energy report that shows what actions you can take, what utility rebates are available, and your return on investment, when you can expect to make that money back based on energy savings. To help you take action on those energy reports, the city has also rolled out a climate action fund, and this is open to both residents and businesses. If you're a business and you're ready to take action on your energy report, the city will cost share those energy improvements up to $2,000 with you based on your utility rebates. We will also kick in 4% cost share if you look to put solar on your rooftop. And that percentage increases if you consider doing a solar garden, which means that not only does your business benefit from that solar, but residents can subscribe to get their energy from that solar too. Those benefits are offered to residents too. So if you are a homeowner or a renter in Edina, you can also get a home energy report, receive these benefits. So we're really excited to roll this out, and we're really excited to celebrate the good work that businesses in Edina are already doing. So thank you, very much.
And I guess we'll spend a little bit of time opening up for any questions from the group on this topic. Yeah, good.
So down in 50th and France, are you familiar with what those folks are doing where they have a composting area and the 4 restaurants that have gotten together? Can you tell us a little bit about that? I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, the question was about 50th and France businesses, where a few have gotten together to offer organic recycling as a group, as a collaborative. So yes, I'm familiar. So we have the 50th and France Business Association. I believe those businesses got together and said, you know what, we don't have to wait for regulation to come through. We can do something together swiftly and efficiently. And so I understand that they've moved forward by contracting with an organics recycling contractor and are offering that to their patrons.
What were those locations? It was Edina Grill, Mario, Salute.
All on that side, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's those 3 and then the neighbor. Mm-hmm.
Good. Right. Yeah, good.
I want to make you aware that the green trend is maybe also dangerous. In Europe, they are looking at a cold winter because they followed the path you're describing right now. And the green is not always able to fulfill emergency situations because it is not wide enough distributed. That has flaws like the electricity broke down in Texas, and I don't know how the fires relate in California, but there are some issues with these green ideas, and I think it's the economic minister of Germany, Scholz, has they want to reinstitute nuclear power. Mm-hmm. And England is afraid, and I think France is afraid too. So do you have a comment on emergency situations that your system is not ready for emergencies when it comes to that?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your comment. In Minnesota, our utility grid has not retired nuclear power plants, which is the case in Europe, nor have they retired natural gas plants. So we have a diverse energy mix in the state, and we're also more highly regulated than in Texas. And that turns out to be a good thing because that gives consumers an opportunity to advocate for a grid that is resilient to extreme weather events. So that's definitely heavy on our minds. Climate change is making these extreme weather events more and more frequent, and increasing the urgency by which we ensure that our energy needs can be met. Yeah, thanks.
But is that nationwide or just here?
I can speak to Minnesota. Yeah.
Good.
I noticed that you used 2019 as the benchmark year for measuring your improvement up through 2030, I think it was. And that made me think of the pandemic, and I'm wondering, maybe that's a pre-pandemic year, and wondering what has happened in terms of green and, sustainability and so forth during the pandemic. Did it get worse? Did it get better because there were less cars? And I don't know, kind of a general question about the pandemic's impact on green.
Yeah, that's a good question. What trends did we see in 2020, 2021? You're exactly right. The city chose 2019 because that was like a business as usual year. In 2020, trends nationwide were a great reduction in energy use and a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. Unfortunately, what we saw was what's called a rebound effect, where in 2021, everyone said, well, I've got a whole year of fun to make up for. And energy use increased beyond the 2019 levels for building energy use, transportation, and other energy resource-intensive activities. So the pandemic was a small reduction. Of course, we are still in the pandemic, but we are unfortunately seeing the emissions increase year over year.
And I'll add to that as well. One of the things that we as a commission saw during, and I'm sure everybody in this room, what did you do during COVID? You got to-go food, right? That was a big part of it. Everybody got all their plastic containers from ordering out all the time. And so our commission was constantly looking at things that we could potentially implement. The to-go packaging was one of them. We've put that in place. We acted pretty fast with the city council, and now it's kind of one of those outcomes of COVID that I would say is actually a really positive thing. And we did weigh the costs of how much do these materials cost for businesses, the sustainable products versus just the plastic containers, and it was negligible. And we actually do look into that with the business lens. So we're trying to make sure that we're making decisions that are in the best interest of both the city as well as the businesses in the city. We're weighing it. One of the things that we're talking about right now is plastic bags and whether or not we should do a plastic bag ban. And the reality is cheap plastic bags are actually better for the environment than paper and some of the other more heavy-duty plastic bags. So we've been doing a lot of research and working on some of these things. We have a commission that's very strong, that's spending the time looking at these things and making sure we're not rushing to decisions and really following the data. Were there questions over here? Yeah, go ahead. In the blue, sorry.
A question about the funding for incentives. Is that built into the Edina budget, or is that a grant fund? Is there a cap on it? It's a very interesting proposal.
There is a cap. It's $100,000 annually. It's paid for through Edina's Conservation and Sustainability Fund, which was created in 2016, and receives its income through utility franchise fees, which just means that the utility pays a couple dollars per customer to the city, and that money goes toward this fund. So we're returning it back to the residents and businesses.
Go ahead.
Are you also looking at greenhouse gas emissions through transportation, and do you have any incentives planned for helping businesses and residents put up charging stations?
Yes, so we focused on building energy use today because it is 55% of the total energy use in Edina, but transportation is right around 40%, so it's close behind. Statewide, it is the largest emitter. In the city, we have not yet determined what incentives are best to offer for transportation. Of course, the city does run its Clover Ride circulator bus, which the city manages. But as far as EV chargers, we haven't yet rolled something out. However, the state does have grant programs that are open to businesses for EV chargers, and Xcel Energy does offer a business partnership where they will work with you to cost share, co-fund the electrical requirements to make sure that charger doesn't overwhelm the electrical grid.
And I would add to that as well. Grace spends a lot of time as a liaison between our commission and the Transportation Commission, and the people in the city on the transportation side, Public Works. There's a lot of conversations around like smart salting. There's been conversations around adding electric vehicle chargers. The city of Plymouth just added, 200 in the city? The city put them in. So we're looking at things like that, trying to figure out what would be worth recommending to city council that we could get implemented. Good.
You need to do another question.
No, you're fine.
Eden Prairie has a program that I thought was really helpful, and that is that there are these new irrigation controllers that are smart controllers that will save water on your irrigation system. And if you install one of those controllers and provide proof of that to the city, they will provide you a credit on your water bill toward the purchase of that controller. I'm wondering if Edina has anything similar.
Yeah, that's a cool program. We've been looking into it. Edina does not have something similar. However, you'll hear a trend here that Edina has two watersheds, the 9 Mile Creek and the other one that I'm forgetting right now. And both of the Minnehaha Creek Watershed District, both of those districts offer similar programs. So if you're a homeowner in Edina, sometimes the city may not offer something, but there are partners who can. So always reach out when you have ideas like that, and we can help connect you.
Okay, maybe one more question. We good? All right, well, I'll just end by saying thank you guys very much. Please do apply for the Green Business Recognition Program. We would love to work with you. We'd love to, I mean, we're members of the community. If you have ideas, there are a lot of things that you guys might have heard of, like the Eden Prairie Initiative, and we'll take that into account and we'll make sure that we're working on that for you guys. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Grace and Corey. It was a wonderful presentation. That the subject matter is very important for us as of now. Anyway, Rotary is a global network of 1.3 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers who see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in our communities and in our lives. From literacy and peace to water and health, Rotarians are always working to better our world, and we stay committed to the end. In honor of your presentation, we will make a donation to Northside Boxing Club, a local nonprofit offering positive connections with the youth every evening at a gym. They provide boxing classes, tutoring help, and a nutritious meal from a local restaurant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What a great talk. 2 weeks in a row, sustainability. It is important. And Rick Carlson, do you have a moment?
Yes, I do. Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see everybody. On your tables, there's a sign-up sheet, or I should say there's a website to go out to if you want to sign up for the Alzheimer's Walk on September 17th at 9 o'clock in Saturday morning. We'd love to have you. There'll be about 15,000 of us or so, you know, you might find somebody that you know. And we'll all be there, and we'd love to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Opportunity Alley for volunteer sign up. As you all know, as you guys all signed up to be members of Rotary, you wanted to give back. Well, here's your opportunities. We have the Alzheimer's Walk on the 17th. We have Veep Bagpack on the 21st. Lake Street Taco Tour. That's not heavy lifting, guys. That's going to be great. Hullabaloo Trick or Treat on October 27th. Involve Minnesota Feed the Homeless on November 12th down at Women's Club. Then we're always looking for volunteers for Camp E, one of our flagship events of the year. It's a fantastic weekend, which you can talk to Rob Brenning on. Upcoming events, we have our happy hour on the 7th with St. Paul Peterson, which will be really interesting to know how artists are paid and develop their music. Then on September 8th, we have Alex Borlat with Minnesota Institute of Art, content strategist. You went for that, didn't you, Jeff-O? Weren't you up for that? Yeah, okay, that was your major. September 10th, car show, 4th annual. September 15th through the 18th, we have the zone meeting, North Star Institute in, I think that's at the Mall of America. Then we have on October 1st, we have the gala. Yeah, baby. Then October 27th, Hullabaloo, Trick or Treats, November 3rd through the 5th, Camp Enterprise. We have got a lot on our plate. This is a great time of year. Great, it's very busy. We're keeping Becky very, very busy. You busy, Becky? Yes, she is. Thank you all, and a special thanks to our guests and visiting Rotarians. We hope the meeting was meaningful. Go forth with a smile on your face, love in your heart, you people of action. Continue to do good work in the community and the world. Meeting adjourned.